probably heard all about Elon Musk's company, the Boring Company, coming to Nashville and hoping to build an underground tunnel using Teslas to get tourists back and forth between downtown and the airport.
Yeah, well, we all have a lot of questions about it.
The state of Tennessee appears to not be wasting any time in making this easier for Elon's company to move forward on this.
It totally makes sense for our state.
They officially approved a plan that would allow them to use a state parking lot to serve as kind of a construction hub and a place to start digging.
They would be the ones that would be maintaining it because they would be the ones who would be using the tunnel, would be their cars.
There was a public comment portion for that meeting, lots of questions.
But, the people I represent and the people of Nashville deserve innovative solutions to this massive transportation issue that we have in the city and the terrible traffic jams.
Well, I think tourists are the ones who are helping supply our economy and helping build Nashville. Look at all the hotels that are built. Look at all the venues. Look at what's going on Lower Broad. Tourism is very important to Nashville and to our state.
What's been proposed is basically a billionaire tech bro using century-old technology to build an underground taxi service.
There's been a city who put in a $600 million rail system. I know Nashville's talking about transit and stuff. But a government put in a $600 million rail system, and it still hasn't paid for itself in 20 years. So to have someone who's willing to make that investment and worry about the cost and then try to make it back, that's a great business model for the state of Tennessee to have someone who's willing to do that.
If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And I think what they're doing here is they're looking to take a shortcut to try to solve the big transportation issues we have in this city. But nothing is free. We have a lot of different problems that could result from this, and a lot. You look at Las Vegas, what's happened there. There's a lot of concerns from the construction to the usefulness of this project. And here in Nashville, we have a very fragile underground system, wastewater, stormwater. None of those questions have been asked and answered at this time. They're wanting to give away state property rights, which they argue go, all the way to the core of the earth under these state roadways. But there was no open bidding process to sell that land. In fact, they're giving away that property. That doesn't benefit the taxpayers of the state of Tennessee. So there are just a lot of questions about this. How's it going to impact us? And I think we will incur a lot of costs in the long runs.
I wish the city of Nashville was more a willing participant in it than what it seems like that they are, as well as the Democrats on the left side of the aisle who are just complaining because it's a Republican, Elon Musk, who owns the company.
Those are real issues facing working families. This doesn't solve any of those problems. This seems like some half-baked idea that the governor jumped at. It's like Elon Musk saw an easy, starry-eyed target in Bill Lee who was willing to give him whatever he wanted. And that's in fact what they did.
But at the end of the day, when you're trying to improve your state and people are willing to recruit, you don't ask the business when they're coming here. Phil Bredesen didn't ask Michael Dell, say, since you're a Republican, we don't want you in Nashville. Or the Titans with the Adams family, hey, we don't want you in Nashville because you may be a Republican. When you're trying to improve your city and do things, you put politics aside and you try to see if it meets the right vision of what you're trying to accomplish, and this does. I'm happy that they're in Tennessee and they're in Nashville. They can help us alleviate a lot of congestion. And so we're happy to be a city that in the state that they chose.